Hey guys, welcome to Screenshots. My name is Pedro. I'm here to talk to you about movies. Today I'm going to talk about Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, if you haven't seen the film, do not watch this review because it contains spoilers. With that being said, finally, The Empire Strikes Back, the best Star Wars film that was ever made, and I have the opportunity to talk about it. Finally, because the film is so good, it is so awesome. I love it. I love watching and rewatching it. It just has this enormous side to it, enormous feel to it. It really manages to pick up on what Star Wars A New Hope left off and develop it and become something even greater and even bigger. It really develops the topic of the Force that Ben Kenobi had taught us in A New Hope. It really deals with the flaws that Luke Skywalker has in the film, the way the friendship has been built between him, Leia, Han, and the rest of the characters, and how that is going to affect this journey that we find in The Empire Strikes Back. So, the story starts off with Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, R2D2, C3PO, and Chewbacca, all in planet Hoth at the Rebel station. The Empire is trying to pursue them, is trying to find where they're at, and they figure out that the Rebel Alliance is there. So now they have to run away from them and have this little battle between the Rebel Alliance and the Empire. And this is one of the best scenes in the film. It kind of resembles a World War II scenario where an army of people try to attack another country, and you really feel that with the Empire, with the walkers on planet Hoth trying to fight off the Rebel Alliance, and the Rebel Alliance taking out these pilots and trying to really fight off against the Empire so that the people inside the Rebel station can flee and run away and go to other places so the Empire can't find them, basically. It's just so interesting because it has a lot of dimension to it. You see Luke Skywalker fighting off the walkers, you see Han and Leia having this little fight between them because Han thinks that Leia likes him and Leia just wants Han in the team because he's very valuable, but you get the feeling that she might actually like him, and because Han is such a cocky guy, he really stresses out the point that she only wants him to be there because she likes him. And at the same time, Han also has the issue of having to pay Jabba the Hutt back. And then when the Empire attacks the Rebel station, Han flies off with Leia in his spaceship in the Millennium Falcon so the Empire can't kidnap Princess Leia again. This is a very smart part of the story. It's separating Luke Skywalker from Han, Leia, and the rest of the team. So now you have like these two storylines that you have to pay attention to. On one hand, you have to have Luke developing his skills, going to Dagobah, meeting up with Yoda, having to learn the Force, get rid of his flaws, and become a Jedi. And on the other, you have Han and Leia running away from the Empire, and they try to use light speed to go into hyperspace, but there's something wrong and they can't do it. So you have this really action-packed medium part of the film where it's just a Millennium Falcon running away from Star Destroyers, going into asteroids, trying to hide away from them and not knowing what to do. You really do feel the Empire really strong in this film. Darth Vader wants things to get done. If they're not done, he will kill off the officers. So it's really tense. It has this dark and kind of realistic feel to it, similar to what the films in the 70s have, but with a more easier approach because it is an action-packed medium film. It's really interesting that the film went through this way. It could have gone a very cliche way, a very similar way to A New Hope, but no, it's really tense. And for the first time, you get the song Imperial March that John Williams did, the dun 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 dun, which really illustrates that the Empire is really strong and can do anything that they want, and they actually control the galaxy. As opposed to A New Hope, where you felt the Empire was in control, but every time the heroes faced them, the stormtroopers didn't do anything. They were very weak, and you know. But here anything can happen. You feel the heroes really stressed out with all of this situation, and that's cool because it's cool to see the heroes actually face danger and obstacles and having to overcome them. And when they try to, they never can, and that's kind of like the very interesting part of the story in terms of tension. On the other hand, you have Luke going to Dagobah and meeting with Yoda, and he finds this little quirky green guy. He thinks that this green guy is not very strong until he finds out that he's Yoda, and he finds out that he's Yoda because he's so impatient. He wants to learn about the Force, he wants to become a Jedi, and he doesn't understand that for him to become a Jedi, to grow up, he needs to calm down, understand his flaws, and really start believing in things that he normally wouldn't believe in. That is why it's so interesting to have a character like Yoda, who's just this quirky green little guy going and at the same time, because he's small and because he has this like a little bit of slapstick humor in the beginning where he just starts whacking his stick at R2D2 and looking through Luke's things and stuff, you think, oh, he's harmless, but he's like the most powerful Jedi ever, and that's really interesting. Wow, this little green guy knows everything about the Force and he's really strong. Luke has really got to learn from this guy and he really has to listen to him, but Luke, because he's impatient, he's grown up from the first film but still doesn't understand that he needs to calm down more and try to learn more about the Force. It's making him so impatient that you just want to rush things and he just doesn't want to do anything. And when Yoda tries to explain the Force to him, which is one of the best scenes in the film, Luke just waves it off. He doesn't hear what Yoda says, that my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. It's just so awesome to hear something like that. It really is. It makes you feel that the Force is around you. Between me, you, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Even between the land and the ship. You know, it's just so... all of this just makes the whole scene really come together, and to really understand that the Force is something that you believe in mostly. If you don't believe in the Force, then you can never use it properly. And Luke, trying to take the ship out of the lake, thinks that it's so big that he can't do it, but when Yoda shows that he can do it, and it's just amazing to see a ship coming out of the lake with the special effects that George Lucas uses in that scene. It's just amazing to watch. It's just so awesome and really shows that the Force is not about stuff that are big or small. It's just something that you feel and that you know that you have to really dive into it and just immerse yourself in it. And that's what Luke has to do, and he starts to do it, but he always misses the point. And then when he predicts the future, when he sees that Han and Leia are captured by the Empire in Cloud City, he has to make a choice. He either goes there and saves his friends, or he doesn't and he makes himself a better Jedi and then actually fights off the Empire when he's actually ready. Because both Luke and Yoda know that it's a trap. It's a trap set for him because the Empire wants Luke Skywalker turn over to the dark side. They really want a person who also understands what the Force is and use it for the dark side, and to really feel the anger behind it and do what the Emperor wants him to do. And you really feel this when Luke confronts Vader. Darth Vader wants Luke to go into the dark side. In this whole scene, when Luke goes into where Darth Vader is at the top of the stairs and he's at the bottom of the stairs. Right there, you can feel that Darth Vader is really strong and Luke is not as strong as Darth Vader. And throughout the fight, it's very slow, it has this tension behind it, and you feel that Luke might have the upper hand sometimes, but when he does, Darth Vader just strikes back and deals a huge blow to him. And it's very interesting, the fact that it's slow paced, simplistic, because that's kind of how samurai films were made. When the fight scene in a samurai film was dealt with, the characters weren't very, you know, attacky, somersaulty, blah blah blah. They were feeling the fight out. You know, you have to see what the other has to feel his traits and his weaknesses. If he attacks, what do you do? If you attack, what does he do? You know, you really feel that in the fight scene between Luke and Vader. You also feel that in the fight scenes like in the westerns, you know. So it's awesome that The Empire Strikes Back deals with these two genres. On one hand, you have like the ending scene in Sanjuro where the main character, Toshiro Mifune, fights off this bad guy, and the fighting is basically them just looking at each other in one shot for a really long time, and then they strike each other at the same time and you see who wins. I'm not going to spoil it to you because I really want you to watch it, but it's all done in one shot and it's just one swift attack, which is amazing. But on the other hand, you have like films like Once Upon a Time in the West, directed by Sergio Leone, and when the ending comes, you see Charles Bronson's character facing off Henry Fonda's character, something that has been building up throughout the entire film. And when you have that duel in the film, you have a revelation of why Charles Bronson wants to defeat Henry Fonda in the film. And that is amazing, because in The Empire Strikes Back, you also have a revelation in this fight scene that Darth Vader is in fact Luke Skywalker's father. This guy that is just really dark and has killed so many people was once Luke Skywalker's father. So now you have an information, not only do you have an information that Luke has not to face his father, but at the same time you start to see after this revelation that he might have some sense into him. You know, that Darth Vader is not just this manipulative, cold guy, that he has more to it, and it's so amazing. Just really develops the characters really well, and it's amazing that the film has something like this. On the other hand, the fact that George Lucas didn't direct this film, that it was directed by somebody else, George Lucas was able to focus on what he's really good at, which is the environment and the special effects, especially the special effects at the time, where they were really realistic. You know, they used models and sets, and amazing sets. It's just amazing to watch, especially when they go to Cloud City and when Luke faces off Vader. You have all of the red lights and the blue atmosphere behind Darth Vader. Just amazing to watch. And the fact that when they're in planet Hoth, you really feel that they're in a different planet. You really see like the snow around them. You really see the ships fighting off the walkers. It's just amazing to watch. It really is. You know, it's a feat. And just the models in space, the Millennium Falcon just running away from the Empire, going into the asteroid field, and then going into a really huge asteroid so that they can, you know, hide themselves from the Empire. And the really simplistic thing that they do, which is they put the Millennium Falcon against one of the Star Destroyers so they can hide themselves from the radars. It's just so simplistic, and it's really, really, really good to watch because you really feel that you are in space. No CGI, it models actual things that you feel and you see. It's just amazing to watch. But on the other hand, you have this really, really good director, Irvin Kerhsner, that he knows what he's doing. Each shot that he really delivers in the film, it's really good, especially again in the fight scene between Luke and Vader. Each shot is like a painting. I feel like I'm in a museum and watching an awesome painting, and then another awesome painting, and then another awesome painting. But all these paintings tell one story. You have to watch the first painting to go to the second, to the third, and that's exactly what the fight scene between Luke and Vader is. It's just really, really, really well thought out, you know. It really is. It builds up from the first film. It makes itself even better. This mystical side of the Force, and the characters that need to be developed, and the Empire that really has the control over the galaxy and really, really can do whatever they want. And if they want, they can deal the heroes like that and see your heroes, but they never have the upper hand throughout this film. It really makes this the best film out of all the Star Wars films. So these are my opinions on The Empire Strikes Back. I hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to subscribe, and I look forward to reading your opinions below. And please do comment, because I love reading your comments, especially with a film like this. I really want to know your opinions, whether you liked it, whether you don't, which is your favorite Star Wars film. I really want to read them, because for me, this show, my web show, isn't just about reviewing films. It's about reviewing films and see what you have to say about it. So please do comment, and remember, these are my personal opinions.